Welcome. Today we're going to talk about changing relationships during menopause. Yeah. Anyone experiencing that? So menopause is a huge transition time. This is not news to anyone. And during this time, everything is really going to be put under the microscope. So everything from the ways that we're living, the foods that we're eating, and our relationships. And because this is one of life's major transition periods, so birth gets us into the world, puberty gets us from being a child into an adult, fertile adult, and then menopause takes us from no longer wasting or losing blood every month through a period and a cycle. And the body says, hey, you know what? I'm going to take that energy and more prioritize longevity. And so then it shifts from these big hormonal changes to one that's a little more flatline. And it's really a process of helping us live our most authentic life in a way that we're not leaking energy and we're living in alignment with who we're born to be, what's most in alignment for us, where we want to be as a person, and what's most interesting to us, to be quite honest. And when we're in our 20s and 30s, we have a lot of energy. And I know it can be hard to watch that sort of dwindle a little bit, but really we have energy post-menopause, but not for everything. So we can't leak it. We can't just give it away. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. You can do that, and stuff our schedule full. So it calls for us to be a little more discerning with where we're putting our energy. And so today we're going to talk about why that's so important and what that means in relationships. So welcome. If you don't know me and you haven't been here before, my name is Angela Warburton. I'm an Eastern medicine practitioner, holistic, whole person based life coach and healer for women at all stages of life, but particularly midlife and menopause. I'm also a postmenopausal woman, and I've gone through this stage and I understand, and I'm continually going through these shifts myself. And I understand some of the challenges. And when we're living in a world that tells us that we shouldn't be feeling these things, or we can just override it, or we can just stay the way we were, I see it as being a real problem because it's not serving women. So menopause, it can be uncomfortable for sure. And if you're experiencing lots of symptoms, there's lots you can do about it, and that's a real thing. And then there's a natural progression and a natural transition that happens at this life that is calling us to up level. To really, it is calling everything under the microscope, as I said, to really look, do I like this? Do I want this? Is this in alignment? Is this wasting or clogging or restricting my energy? Or is it freeing up energy? Is it something that I have a lot of energy for? And it's really at this sort of crossroads where we are shifting what we're doing. And that's going to be a good thing because it's going to free up vitality, energy, enthusiasm, joy for our life on the other side. If we're not living in that way, we're gonna feel it. And relationships is one of the biggest areas I see this in for myself, but for other women. And it's normal. I just want to say it's normal to change relationships in this time. And doesn't mean change relationships as in, well, I'm going to get out of this relationship or no longer be here and find something new, although that can happen for some people. But it can be more of an up leveling. The ways that we were working maybe don't fit anymore. So it's like I often say, it's like you have a shoe that's a little bit too small, and boy, it's cute, and I bought that, and I'm gonna wear it. And then you stuff your foot in it and you walk for a little bit and you're like, oh, it doesn't feel good anymore. It doesn't feel good. You can't. And so that's kind of like we outgrow certain things, or we shift or change. And so it's requiring us to have conversations and change dynamics with people. But we can't do that until we first know what it is that we want. And so actually figuring out what your needs are, what you're wanting, is the first step. And it can be so hard for women, so hard and such a challenge, because if you're someone who's been programmed to care for others, take care of other people's needs first, bypass your own needs, or just shove them into a corner, which looks like 11 or 12 o'clock at night when everyone's asleep and all the things have been done, and now you can finally get a little time on your own, I may be talking to you. Or thinking, oh, it's, if I rest, it's lazy, or I'm being selfish in some way. And I'm here to tell you, you're not. And if you're not understanding what you want, you're not going to be showing up authentically in a way for other people. And it's going to ultimately hurt relationships too, because we can become resentful. Certainly in menopause, we can become intolerant. We can become irritable, snappy. And sometimes those are the ways that our body is trying to get our attention. And so And what's really interesting is we often come from our head. If we think something, or we logically, it makes sense, I want this, or I should do this, or we talk ourselves out of things. But 80% of the information comes from our body up to our brain, not our brain down. We are an ecosystem for sure. So everything, we're integrated, we're not separated, but we tend to cut ourselves off at the neck and just operate from up here. And for sure with women, at any point, but for sure with women in menopause, your body is going to let you know if this is in alignment with this. The body will give you symptoms. And that's the way our body talks to us, through symptoms. So symptoms aren't menopause, but menopause can exacerbate an imbalance that's there. This is a whole other topic. I'm not going to get in that today. But when you listen, when you understand what it is you truly want, your body can trust you again. It can relax. It can just feel more ease because you're living in alignment with what's most true to you. And believe it or not, it can feel like, oh, but what if I'm going to hurt someone else or other people need me? Yes, there's lots of things that you probably need to do in relationships and dynamics. And I know I have aging parents, and a lot of people have, young kids and aging parents, and there's a lot going on there. And you can honor yourself in that mix too. And it ultimately, when you're most authentic, living your life and being clear on what you can do, can't do, what you want to do, what you don't want to do, it is a more authentic relationship with other people as well. You're giving them permission to ask for what they want, and then you can have a real conversation. So it's really important that you just first and foremost permission yourself to want something, and then listen to your body. So listen to what happens, or pay attention to what happens to your body when you go through your day. When you say yes to something and you want to do it, how does that feel? Do you feel more space, more energy? When you say yes to something you don't want to do, what happens? Do you get constriction? Do you get a knot in your stomach? Do you feel anxious? Do you start feeling a headache? Whatever that is, your body's going to tell you what's happening. And so when you start to pay attention, first and foremost, I often just starting with the little things, the micro things. So there's a macro, the big things, and the micro things. But in this moment, what do I want? What do I really want? Start with little things. I want to take a break. I want to lie down for a minute. I want to take a walk. I want a glass of water. I want to pee. Very simple things. Sometimes, like, I want to cancel something. I don't want to do that thing. I want to say no. I whatever that is. I know for me, I have a lot of energy for a lot of things. There's a lot of life that goes on in my world, and I'm very excited about a lot of things, but I have this tendency to cram too much in my day. And especially if I've said yes to something that I really don't want to do, or it's just not the right timing, when I listen, have the courage to say, hey, I'm going to cancel that. Inevitably, the other people are like, thank you, that actually works out better for me. Or, oh my gosh, I have more time. Or, like, as someone I know says, like, cancellations are her love language. It happens a lot where you're giving someone else a gift because they get more time if you've canceled. But just even that canceling, I just feel so much space open up. I feel my adrenaline go down, my cortisol go down, and I just, I've got more space in my day. So whatever it is for you, big or small, when you first and foremost honor what that is, let yourself want what you want, and then take these micro actions. If you're thirsty, get a glass of water. If you need to go for a walk, get a glass, like, go for a walk. I notice the more I try to push myself to do something, the tighter I get. The more I honor and walk away for a bit, I come back, it happens a lot easier. Little things like that. Once you start with those, you start being able to listen. You can also start applying this to relationships. Do dynamics need to change? This is really normal. Do you need more space for yourself? This is normal too. That was something that I did regularly through my early menopause years, like post-menopause with the first couple of years. I took time off every month to go away by myself to a little cabin in the woods, no one around, a couple of days, just to be. No one around to talk to, except for listening to myself. And I could just feel, I often liken it to this, like, little snow globe, or this is a fog globe, but just this, this is life. And then when we just get still and are able to listen, everything settles and we're able to see and listen and hear again. So that first step, listen for yourself, and then going to relationships. And it can be a very healing, loving conversation. Hey, I've noticed I've changed a bit. My intention is to really heal this or bring this relationship along with me and up level this relationship. Can I talk to you about some stuff that's important to me? And ideally, the other person has needs too, and you get to work through it together. But to know that it's normal, to know that you have every right to want what you want, the more you honor that, the better your body's going to feel, the better you're going to feel. And when you're living in alignment in that way, the better you're going to show, or the more authentic and the more wholehearted or heart forward you're going to show up in relationships, and that's better for everyone. And so again, you're going to also model this if you have kids, if you have friends, if you have other people in life. Wouldn't it be great if we all first and foremost know what we want and then are able to bring it forward in a loving way and then navigate from there versus, yes, I don't really want to do it, yes, I said yes, oh my God, or whatever it is for you. So that's what I have to say about relationships. The more you model it, the more that's energy that's there, and the more vitality that's going to free up, the more healing that gets released. And just so you know, change is normal. This time of life for sure is going to be, it's inevitable, and your relationships are going to mirror and model that as well. So I hope that was helpful. If you like this video, please hit like. If you want more like this, I am offering very holistic approaches using Eastern medicine, Western medicine, essential oils, lifestyle, and just the energetics and emotions of midlife to help you navigate it with more vitality, more ease, more joy. And I show up every week. So, and if you're more that you want to know about certain topics, please post it in the comments. I'm listening to you all the time, and I want to give you tools that really serve you and where you are in your life. So thank you for being here. Bye for now. I will see you next time.